Today, we're going to decode a 2,400-year-old manuscript that, believe it or not, holds the secret to practically every great story you've ever loved. Seriously, it's the blueprint behind your favorite movies, TV shows, and plays, and it's called Aristotle's Poetics.
So let's just dive right into the central puzzle. Why do we love stories that make us feel bad? I mean, why do we binge watch shows that give us anxiety or line up for movies that are pretty much guaranteed to make us cry? It seems totally counterintuitive, right? But there's a deep psychological reason we're actually wired to seek out a good tragedy.
And to find the answer, we have to go way back to ancient Greece, to a philosopher who looked at stories not as just, simple entertainment, but as a kind of powerful technology. He was one of the first people to systematically break down how and why stories have such a powerful hold on us. His name was Aristotle, and his analysis is just as sharp today as it was back then. Okay, so his first big idea has this kind of fancy name, Mimesis, but the concept is actually super simple. All art is imitation. A painting imitates a landscape, a statue imitates a person, and a great story, well, it imitates human life and action. Aristotle believed we are instinctually drawn to imitation. We just enjoy it, and we learn from it. It's really the foundational spark for all art. But he didn't stop there. He got pretty obsessed with identifying the most potent form of imitation, the kind that could really grab an audience and fundamentally change them. And this is where it gets really good. He zeroed in on tragedy. He defined it not just as a sad story, but as a carefully engineered experience. It's an imitation of a serious, complete action. But look at the end of that quote. The whole purpose is to arouse pity and fear in the audience, all to achieve one specific powerful outcome, something he called catharsis. So how do you build this emotional machine? Well, Aristotle basically reverse-engineered the perfect tragedy, breaking it down into a clear blueprint. Let's pop the hood and see how this thing works. So he laid out 6 components, and this is absolutely crucial, he put them in order of importance. Things like language, music, and especially spectacle, what we'd call special effects today, were way down at the bottom of his list. For Aristotle, the absolute king, the engine of the entire experience, was the plot, the story, the structure of events. That's everything. And he was incredibly specific about what makes a great plot. It has to be a complete, self-contained unit with a clear beginning, a middle, and an end. Everything has to be causally linked, and he said it requires a unity of action, so no distracting side quests or subplots. The story has to be laser-focused on one single driving chain of events. Okay, so a focused, unified plot is the foundation. We get it. But what are the key events inside that plot? Aristotle described this specific sequence, a dramatic arc that I promise you will recognize almost instantly. First up, you need the right kind of hero. For this to work, the protagonist can't be a perfect saint, because their fall would just feel cruel and unfair. But they can't be a total villain either, or we just feel like they got what they deserved. No, the ideal tragic hero is a fundamentally good, noble person who makes one devastating mistake. And that mistake, it has a name: Hamartia. Now, this is often translated as a tragic flaw, like pride or arrogance, but a much better translation is simply an error in judgment. It isn't some deep character defect, it's one single pivotal bad decision that just spirals completely out of control. That error, the hamartia, it triggers the peripeteia. This is the big one. It's the reversal of fortune, that shocking moment when the hero's world is turned completely upside down. It's the dramatic point of no return, where everything that was going right suddenly goes horribly, horribly wrong. And that reversal leads directly to the anagnoresis. This is the moment of recognition, when the horrifying truth finally dawns on the hero. They see the full scope of their error and how it led to their own ruin. It's that devastating, gut-punch moment where it all just clicks into place. Okay, let's just recap for a second. You have a good hero who makes a critical error, which leads to a shocking reversal of fortune, which brings about a terrible, terrible recognition. Aristotle has just assembled a precision-tuned emotional engine. But what for? Why would you want to put an audience through all of that? This brings us to the final piece of the puzzle. This is the ultimate goal of the entire machine. It's the big payoff for all that pity and fear he's been building up. And that payoff is catharsis. As we watch this good person fall, we feel pity for them and we feel fear that, hey, something similar could happen to us.
Aristotle's genius insight was that by experiencing these powerful emotions in the safe container of a story, we get to purge them. It's an emotional cleansing, a release.
And that is the answer to our original question. We don't enjoy tragedy because we like being sad. We enjoy it because of the profound sense of relief that comes afterward. The story acts like an emotional pressure valve, giving us a safe space to process difficult feelings and then walk away feeling purged, relieved, and honestly, kind of better.
So, the takeaway here is huge. These aren't just some dusty old ideas. A good but flawed protagonist, the focus on a tight plot over cheap special effects, and aiming for a powerful emotional release, this is the fundamental DNA of countless masterpieces, from ancient Greek plays right up to the golden age of television we're living in right now.
So think about it. What's the last movie, show, or book that left you feeling emotionally wrung out, but also strangely satisfied? That feeling of release, that's it. That's Aristotle's 2,400-year-old blueprint for storytelling, still working its magic on all of us today.